guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, and we're gonna do July TBR. I know, booktube, YouTube, I feel like you guys are always too high. Booktube, YouTube, whatever space niche you might be in, I swear, we're always a broken record. It's hot, so you're gonna hear us all complain about how hot it is and how toasty it is outside and the heat waves we're going through, as if like the rest of the world isn't. We're all gonna say it, we're all gonna complain. The next thing we're all gonna say and complain about is, I can't believe it's already July. I can't believe it's already the second half of the year. I can't believe how fast the year is going. 'Cause same. Yeah. I don't like thinking about it. I don't want to keep the thoughts in my head. So we're going to move on for now. We're going to do my July TBR. Now, I'm going to take one punishment because I did not fully complete my TBR, but I did read some of them. And so we get a mix. No, two punishments, but one punishment. If you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Sam. This is my Biblius TBR game inspired by the Disney Villainous franchise. One of my favorite board games. Have not played it in a hot minute, but do love it deeply. I pull cards. I basically have a hand of 4 cards. I move to a new location. I play a card. I pick a book to correspond with said prompt. I like this because it gives me flexibility so that I don't have to force myself into every prompt that I pull. I have a selection to choose from so that I can pick the best book for me at the time. And then, yeah, we can kind of go from there. I will be taking punishment, like I said. You'll notice that I've wiped the board, not because I've completed a prompt or have any reason to do so. They're all here. I have them. I just, it's getting to be a lot. I've done horrible at finishing my TBR this year, so I think we're gonna need to do a dedicated reading vlog at some point where it's just me reading past Biblius TBRs, okay? So let's remember to mark our calendars for that. Hold me accountable. I gotta get this sorted. But because it was getting a little overwhelming, I think visually it's just not as fun to look at when there's so many cards on the table. So I've removed them, but they're technically still in play. I only removed 2 from the last game. And I'm even losing track of like which book corresponds to what prompt. So we're gonna figure that out later. But I just wanted to let you guys know that like we're still going strong at not completing TBRs, but we want to have a little bit of a clean slate to visually look at things and not feel overwhelmed, because I know the game can be a little confusing already. I don't want to make it worse for anybody. So I think that's enough gameplay, tidiness. I think we'll talk housekeeping at the end or in between when I figure out when I need to talk about certain things. I have not really planned or prepped anything for this month. So we're kind of just winging it, we're freeballing it, we're hoping for the best, okay? Great. So the first thing we're going to do, pull a punishment card. This or that, at least one book must not be highly wanted. Okay, alright, I can do that. So basically this or that, basically for this, I'm going to pick one book that I really want to read, one book that I don't really want to read, and a head flip coin toss. Hello? Am I okay? Coin toss is going to decide which book I read. Now, I currently have a cat on my lap, and she's making it hard to need to do something. Aren't you? Now we gotta play the fun game of what the heck do I even want to read? TBR card. Right here. This first tier is the books that I want to read soon, or rather than later. The bottom 2 tiers are all the books that I need to unhaul, and I think I need to get on that because it's getting a little ridiculous, and I would like to use this space for, you know, what priority reads and whatnot. For the book that I, of course, really want to read, The Night and the Moth, of course. I've talked about this a couple of times. She's newly hauled. I think this might be one of my most anticipated of the entire year, so this is my want to read. And then, oh, I have 4 options here of like I don't fully want to read. Okay, trying this again. Fresh battery. Hopefully dogs have calmed down. Somebody knocked on the door. So like I mentioned, this is the book that I would like to read, and the book that I'm saying I don't know if I really want to read, I do kind of have to read this, so I am playing myself a little bit nice, if you will. But basically this is a thriller that I need to read for an upcoming video, but it's not one that I'm super eager for, but oh wow. This would have been really good for a future video you're gonna see. I know it's a thriller. It's not been super well rated, so I'm a little nervous about it, primarily. So this is gonna be my pick for like, you know? Now we get to play the fun game of, I do have a coin, which is a little bit different, but we can, you know, use it for our benefit at this moment. Basically, this is a coin that I got from a Lumicrate that is like buy or don't buy coin. We're going to say that the buy a book is The Night and the Moth, and the don't buy a book is Where You End. I don't know how to flip this is the problem. that how you do it? Oh no, don't buy. Boo. Okay, that's fine. I do plan to hopefully read both anyway, but it makes sense where you end. Priority read. This is following a 22-year-old cat bird who wakes up from a coma, and she sees her mirror image, Jude, her twin sister. Kat remembers nothing except for Jude's face and name, but as Kat tries to relearn her history and identity, she trusts Jude will provide all the answers, but as the months progress, Kat begins to fear that maybe Jude has been lying to her. Recruit, hunt, perform, or perish. Growing up in an isolated community, the girls studied poetry and literature, but also played dangerous games of cunning and savagery, games with dark lessons that followed them into adulthood. Now, with Kat's mind a blank state, Jude invents an idyllic childhood in the hopes, erasing the darkness of their history and all the threats it still holds. As Kat pulls at the threads of Jude's elaborate tapestry, those threads draw closer. When the past and the present finally converge, the twins must risk everything to save their unique bond and ultimately each other's lives. Intensely creepy and beautifully written, this is an unforgettable tale about intrigue, revenge, and mortal ambiguities. The quest for redemption. So it's kind of giving culty, which could be interesting. I think I like cult stuff in books. I haven't read a whole lot, but I do think it's atmosphere setting in part of a book that I do typically enjoy. So, first book, Punishment Prompt, where you end. I am excited to see if I end up liking this. It's not had great reviews, so I'm nervous for it. But now that we got that out of the way, we can draw my hand up to 4 and see what selection we have to pull from. So the first one is Themes of Death or Grief, a thriller or horror, easy. Read Around the World. And finally in my hand will be a reread. Okay, I don't think I have plans to reread anything, so I don't think that one will stick around, to be honest. But, of course, what intrigues me the most, we're going to move a space over, we're going to play the thriller or horror. Why? Because Summerween is happening, baby, and Blackoween Noir. I'm really bad at that word. Noir. Struggle with it a little bit. I cannot wait. I don't necessarily have plans for a Summerween video of any kind, so I'm still kind of playing it all by ear, figuring out what I want to do. But I am excited for both of those. I have not fully solidified a TBR in any way, shape, or form for either of them. I don't know which route I'm going to do for Blackoween. I don't know what I want to read for Summerween. So we have a lot of options. Technically, Where You End is a thriller, so that could work. The only other thriller... Oh, no, wait. I know exactly what I want. We're going to do The Buffalo Hunter. I have to read this for a couple of reasons, but one of the Blackoween Noirs, which is hosted by Loctician Brie, one of the areas is about Black authors and Indigenous authors. And so I was thinking this was a recommendation from Brie herself. So I was thinking The Buffalo Hunter because I need to read it for a video anyway, that it might be kind of perfect, you know? So I don't really know. I do kind of know what this is about. It's told in diary entries. It's all epistolary, and it's a future timeline of somebody who's found these documents who is talking about this massacre that's been, I think, whitewashed in history. And so we're reading back on, like, the confessionals of what happened. And I think there's a supernatural twist with one of the potential elders of the community, because I think they've been living longer than they maybe should. I've heard great things. People have cried over this. What is your plan, girl? You can't lay there. She's gonna lay there. That's fine. I guess we can see the board. So I've heard really good things about this. People have really enjoyed it. People have cried over this. So I guess this will be the next book. I have, obviously, this physical copy. This is from Owl Crate, their special edition. Very nice, very good. I have the audiobook that I purchased on Libro FM. So I'm geared and ready to read this one. So the next thing I can do is draw an effect card, which unfortunately Hinata's like half sitting on. Go to a cafe. That's perfect. That's actually something I would like to do. I have a summer bucket list that I would like to check at least some of the things off. We only really have like 2, maybe 2.5 months, depending on how autumny I'm feeling in this September and if we have like a really late summer or not. But I have a summer bucket list, and I would like to get to some of those things. And one of them, there's a specific cafe in Portland that my partner and I would like to go to. So we'll see how that goes. I believe that's everything that I can do, besides I can take 2 tokens. So that is also lovely. Tokens are how I purchase books. Also, because I don't read all of the books. I pay tokens in response, so I often don't have a lot of tokens. I have not really had a reward system for this game this year because I've done so bad. So not great for me. It's not that hard to get tokens in this game because it's 20 and I can get a book. This year though, that's not it. Okay, drawing my hand back up to 4. Favorite trope. Oh boy, howdy. All right, let's move over 1. Let's take 3 tokens. Let's get a little greedy. I will be able to play 2 prompts, but unfortunately, I'm not super into all of these prompts. So I think what we're going to do is play my favorite trope, which I now have to decide what trope I want to pick and for what book. I'm kind of feeling a romantasy. I figured it out, and it did not take me that long to figure out. I, of course, have to go with favorite trope. So this could be a couple things. I really enjoy the fated mates trope. I also enjoy enemies to lovers. Like, I hate you, and just because we're fated mates does not mean that I have to be with you type of enemies to lovers. Like, I'm gonna come with you, but I'm also maybe gonna try and kill you. And the whole reason for this is because the last and final book in the quartet has come out, and I really want to read it. But to read it, I also really want to do a reread for it. So for this, we're gonna put on Bow Before the Elf Queen by J.M. Curl. I love this book. I think the first one is 4 stars. I think the second one was 5 stars. I don't remember what I rated the third one, but I love them. The third book felt like a later season of The Vampire Diaries. It was so fun. That's definitely going to be my chosen pick for my favorite trope. I love that book so much. It is one of the first audiobooks that was dual narrated where they say the dialogue in each other's chapters. It's one of the first I listened to, and it was just so fun. I've reread the first one twice now. This will be my 3rd time. I adore the series. I adore the characters. It's been so long since I've been in this world though, like since the 3rd book came out so long. So yeah, this is for sure going to be my pick. I cannot wait. This is so exciting. Now, I'm going to discard all 3 of my hand. Now, technically, because drawing my hand back up to 4 or drawing a card in general ends the first turn, we are going to stop here. I'm not going to get to play a second card, but we get to at least draw. Author's debut. Okay. New to you author. A standalone. Nice. All right. And finally, in my hand, most anticipated. The gods are singing down on me. The heavens are singing down on me. The heavens are shining. I'm not really religious, so I don't really know what the correct phrases are, but the gods are singing on me today. Yeah, totally. So I'm going to move over to here. I'm going to take a token. I'm going to play most anticipated. You're kidding. You know her, you love her, you've already seen her. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gilly, author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, one of my favorite books of last year, a book that I really rather enjoyed earlier this year. This is following the moth, I'm assuming, who is like, she's a diviner. So she like can see the future and people from far and wide come to see her and her sisters and like get kind of like prophecies foretold, futures foretold sort of situation. But her sisters start going missing and she has to team up with this knight who's like not really into all of her woo-woo stuff, and they have to like team up. And I don't know how like romantic this is gonna be. I don't know really a lot about it, except for everybody is loving it. It's been a lot of people's best of the year, 5 stars. I'm probably gonna love it too. I just have no expectations, which I think is the right way to go into this. Well, don't have any expectations on like the results, but I do have expectations of my love for it, you know? But yeah, I'm so happy to have this on the TBR. Let's go! That was our second pick. I can't do anything else on this space, so I'm gonna draw another card for my hand, which is an urban setting. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Let's move over to, let's take my 2 tokens. Let's play an effect card. Well, too many. Go on a walk. Bonus 2 tokens if I listen to an audiobook. All right, solid. I do walk. I do that. I actually walk a lot at my job, so great. Now, of course, we're going to play the interesting urban city. Now, I have 2 choices, but I fear I can't pick one because it's probably on Kindle Unlimited. They're probably both on Kindle Unlimited. So my toss-up between the 2 would be the sequel to House of Bane and Blood, which is something. But the series is Order and Chaos, I believe. And this is an urban arranged marriage of convenience story. that Covers with Cassidy really liked, and she recently on her Instagram shouted it out and kind of like reminded me of the plot, because unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed it, I read it in the midst of a lot of books, and so I don't remember everything that happened and went on, which is unfortunate. So I might look up a bit of a spoilery plot if it's out there, and then jump into the second book, which I have on Audible, because again, I enjoyed House of Bane and Blood so much, which was available on Hoopla before my library took it away from me. So I had access to it because Podium, which is a company I think that works with Audible for their exclusives, made a lot of the first books in series available to libraries. And so that's how I had access to it. And I liked it so much that I went and purchased with my credit the second book. And then I waited, and I've forgotten a lot, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. I'm excited to jump back into it. The other option, which will make Eliza really happy, is Gods and Monsters, which is chunky. I don't know if I have an audiobook for it. And I don't actually have a physical copy because it's been in a Christmas present box at Eliza's house for like a year or two. Maybe just a year. So I know that it's coming. I'm no better. I also have Eliza and Daphne's Christmas presents next to me. So I'm no better. But I know that she has a copy for me, so I can't buy the book for myself. I don't know. I know it's going to be a big series. I know it's not all out yet. I know people really like this first book. People have, for the most part, enjoyed the series. So I am excited for it. I just know a little bit less, but I know Liza would be really happy if I read it. But I also would have to read it on Kindle. So I don't know yet. I'm leaning more towards the audiobook because that feels doable in the month because I have a lot of physicals right now, and I can probably get it on KU. But this could also probably be on KU. I have to do research, but this is what I'm leaning towards. I will draw my hand back up. Audiobook longer than 6 hours. All right. Okay. She's messing up the board. I'm sorry. I simply can't tell her no. So we're going to move. Get 3 more tokens. Why the heck not? I think I'm going to be brave. And I think I'm going to do audiobook longer than 6 hours. Yeah. I think this will definitely be longer than 6 hours. This is crazy. Kingdom of Claw. I know. Woof. Yeah. What a chunky book. This is not available on Kindle Unlimited, which pains me. This is so chunky. 626 pages. I don't read big books, can you tell? But I really enjoyed the first book, and I, of course, want to continue. Now that I know who this girl is, I would very much like to continue. I think Eliza already read this. We buddy read The Road of Bones, and I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I love the ending. I was so into it. And so, of course, it only feels right this next month. I pick up the sequel. There's going to be a novella following a side character that comes out, I think, this summer. And then we have to wait for, I believe, the next 1 or 2 books for the series. But this is Kingdom of Ash. Road of Bones is about a young girl whose name, Scylla, maybe? Yeah, Scylla. Oh, let's go. Scylla, who witnesses the death of her father at a very pivotal point in her time, and she doesn't have a lot of information to go off of except for that wasn't actually her father, and now she needs to somehow go up north in hopes of somebody able to house her because they've been kind of low-key on the run their whole life. She never really noticed the struggles that they were going through or problems that might arise around her because she had a loving guardian figure who was taking care of her, and she also maybe has magic, which is super duper outlawed, of course, very bad, and she kind of forces herself among this group. They're the Blood Axe crew. Let's go, synopsis! They're the Blood Axe crew. She kind of joins them on their adventure, and kind of a found family vibe going on. She kind of gets to know everybody. Some romance starts, some strong friendships, a lot of betrayal, a little bit of heartbreak, and an explosive ending. So I really enjoyed Road of Bones. It was, I think, 4.5 stars in the end. It wasn't quite a full 5, but there's a chance that as I continue, it'll be a full 5. Now, I have said on this channel a couple of times that sequels have not been great for me, but mostly with duologies. So hopefully this one excels and I have a great time and I'm happy with everything. So that is the official TBR of the game. But, of course, there's some housekeeping. Book club picks. The Literally Dead book club is reading With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I'm hesitant about this one. I will not be purchasing a copy if I can help it. I don't even want to buy the audiobook if I can help it. This might be the last time we do a Riley Sager for the book club, so we'll see how that goes. But last year, if you remember, I was a co-host for the discussion on the Riley Sager book, so I of course need to read it and be at the discussion because it's very important to me. So I want to be there, and yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go. I know it's a train, maybe a whodunit. We'll see. And then the other book club that I'm a part of is the 4Bs with Aaliyah and Richie, and we will be reading The Reformatory live on sprints. So if you want to read that book with us, or just like come hang out whilst we sprint, but also chit chat about the book as we continue through it and read it, I will also be reading the Nickelback Boys. I will be reading the Nickel Boys because it seems like it has some similar themes to the Reformatory, and Richie really enjoyed it and recommended it. So I'm going to read it beforehand, and we're going to discuss that, and then we're going to read the Reformatory and discuss that. So it's going to be a really fun time. We end up sprinting for a long time and chatting for a long time, but when we have a book to read, we actually succeed a little bit better because we're like, we got to talk about the next thing. So that is upcoming book club picks that I'm for sure going to partake in. Other things, I have a lot of reading vlogs happening. Battle of the Booktubers will be out every Sunday until August 3rd. So lots of Sunday vlogs. I think I'm going to have more vlogs on Thursday as well. So I'm sorry if you don't love reading vlogs, but you're going to be getting a lot this month. I just have a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot to read. The live show for Iron Gold, it will be August 9th, which is a Wednesday. And then July, towards like the end of July, early August, I will be reading Dark Age by Pierce Brown, the second to last book, which is crazy. We're getting there. Oh my gosh. Great and incredible. And then readathons. Let's talk readathons. Oh my goodness. I did not fully complete Tar. The Amazing Readathon was a lot of fun, but it is quite, not necessarily stressful, but like you do have to really keep up with the themes. And although I had a TBR, I was kind of going a little chaos gremlin mode towards the end and just kind of like reading whatever I wanted, and so I did not complete it fully, which is fine. I have no issues with that. I did my best and I still read a good amount of books, so I'm content. But because I did not finish it, I was like, oh no, am I going to be burnt out? Am I going to say like, no way am I going to participate in a readathon in July? But July means Summerween. July means Black-a-Ween New War. July means Tarot Readathon. July also means Sunrise on the Readathon, hosted by Katie Colson, new this year. Buzzwordathon. And then finally, Scallywagathon is back with Allie, but also previously Hardback Orders. And there's going to be a 24-hour readathon, and there's just like a lot kind of going on. And then July, I'm also traveling a lot and doing fun stuff and a lot of reading vlogs. So it's going to be a really crazy, jam-packed month. I'm keeping it cool with readathons. I'm going to loosely participate where I can. Things like Sunrise on the Reaping, I don't need like a straightforward TBR. It's mostly based on pages. I know that Tarot Readathon, like I'm going to kind of pop in and out based off what picks Noelle does for my team, which I'm on Team Swords because I'm an Aquarius. And I figure that, makes sense with Sunrise happening. I will participate in Black-a-Ween and Summerween, but those are shorter, more compact whatchamadoodoos. Those are more short and compact readathons, so a little less stressful, but also like shorter amount of time to finish all the books. So, it's kind of a toss-up, but that's kind of my loose plans for July. I'm not really setting anything too crazy in stone. I kind of just want to work on videos and channel content, so that's kind of a little housekeeping out of the way, and all of the like bonus things that I would also like to read. But that also concludes this video and our TBR for this freaking month. Oh my goodness. Not pictured, we have Bow Before the Elf Queen, first book in the Elf Queen series, so that I'm ready to jump into the fourth book soon. And also not physically here is the second book to House of Bane and Blood, but then we also have Where You End, Buffalo Hunter, The Night and the Moth, and Kingdom of Claw. So 6 books, not bad on top of everything else I gotta read. Not bad. I will let you know dates for upcoming events on my community tab, which I need to get better about using. So that you guys know what's going on. There's going to be a live show for Battle of the Booktubers. There's going to be a live show for the Reformatory. I would like to do some more sprints. I did non-sprints today where I kind of just yapped with some friends that I wanted to catch up with and talked about book stuff going on, but we want to do some proper sprints in the future. I would like to get Aaliyah and Richie for some proper sprints on my channel again, because those were a lot of fun. If I can sweet talk Daphne and Eliza, that'd also be great. So that's kind of all the housekeeping. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.